Hi, I'm Joel Shinnis. Yes, that Joel Shinnis on YouTube. Welcome to This Week I Learned, a weekly video series where I share one tip, trick, tool, or technique that I found useful that I thought you might too. This week, it's not going to be a library so much. In fact, I don't even have any code in this video. It's just two strategies for dealing with getting a bunch of signals over time, throttle and debounce. Now, sometimes you have a situation where you have like a function that's being called or a signal that's coming in, and there's just the signal's getting sent many times, but the thing that's supposed to happen as a result is either it just takes a long time. Either there's a big calculation, or you have to do a call to a database or a web API. And you need to find a way to sort of slow down the input, but still sort of capture the spirit of it for a good user experience. And that's where throttle and debounce come in. They're both great strategies for dealing with a lot of input coming in over time and trying to limit that in a way that still makes sense. So let's go to the paper and figure out how they work. Okay, so let's imagine a signal coming in. We're going to call that the original. And this just means that, like, when I say signal function, call events, whatever. Something we want to handle, something that we have some sort of expensive operation to deal with. Okay, so let's say we have an A, a B, and a C coming in. And they sort of, let's just say that this approximate is 100 milliseconds, okay? And let's say that the only thing we can really use is 2.5 milliseconds. Let's say that's the edge of this index card from here to here, okay? In fact, let's throw one more here. Let's throw in D. Another 100, but it comes kind of after that. All right, so here's what the throttled version looks like. We start with A, we get A, and then we don't get anything for the entire 2 milliseconds. So B comes in and C comes in, and they're not even seen. They're not even blips in the radar. But now when that timeout is done, then D will be the next thing that we actually see. In the debounced version, what'll happen is that A will come in, and B will come in, and C will come in, and D will come in, and then each of these has basically canceled each other out. So when we finally get that last signal, D, A kind of came in, B kind of came in, C kind of came in, and D kind of came in, but it got delayed until here. So it came in here, but we kind of spent the time waiting until it finally showed up. And that on a time scale is the difference between throttled and debounced. Throttled means that you get instant feedback. We're just going to kind of ignore some of the other feedback within a certain time frame, right? Whereas debounce means you don't get an initial feedback, and you don't get feedback until they've stopped giving you stuff. Once they've stopped giving you stuff, that's when you actually do whatever long operation it was that you had. So this is great for instant feedback, but this is great for like being able to make sure we captured the last thing effectively. So that's throttle and debounce. Now, I tend to use throttle when I'm doing kind of game stuff, and I tend to use debounce when I am doing UI stuff. With throttle, it's like you can take a bunch of input, and sort of like if the player keeps on pressing left and left, but they're not supposed to do it that often, you can sort of just use throttle to slow them down. And with debounce, when people are typing a bunch and I want to do a search or an autocomplete on that, I'll let them kind of stop typing for a few moments, and then I'll do the search and give them what they need. So it's all about picking the right strategy for your right setting, but once you've kind of used these, it'll be easier to do. I made an extension for this video where I implement throttle and debounce state hooks for React. So if you're interested in seeing that, there's that link. Look everybody, there's that link. In the meantime, if you have any questions, please leave a comment. If you have anything you'd like me to, any questions you'd like me to answer, anything you'd like me to take a look at, please go ahead and leave that in the comments. Your feedback helps me make better videos. Thank you so much for your time and attention. I really hope this helps. Best of luck out there.